Hello, my name is Johnny, and I thought that we could talk about metronomes, clicks, the whole deal. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up GarageBand and work with a click here, and kind of maybe explain some things of what's happening when you're hearing a click and how to manipulate it to do what we want it to do. So this is GarageBand, and let me just go. Hit go and talk you through what's happening. So these numbers, this little box here is what we're going to focus on. As you can see, it's counting to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the beat. And every 4 beats, this number over here changes. 1, 1. And because it's following this time, here's 17, here's 18, and 19 is coming up. Okay, cool. That's where that's coming from. And we can manipulate how fast and slow this is happening with our tempo. So I can drag that down and slow it down to 60. Because 60, let's talk about this. 60 is, it's the rate of a clock. As you know, there are 60 seconds for every minute. 60 seconds in a minute. And when we set the tempo to 60, what we're saying is there's going to be 60 beats in a minute. So every beat is going to be exactly 1 second. That sounds like the rate of a second to me, because it is. So we can change this number and squeeze in more seconds, if you will, more beats to make it go a little bit faster, make it go a little bit slower. Let's set it at like 75. Just hear what that sounds like. It's a little faster than a second. And if we were to time it, there would be 75 of them in 1 minute. Okay, cool. That's tempo. Now let's talk about this little doodad. You can ignore the C major, just pretend like that's not there. But look at this this fraction here. That's called a time signature. If I hover my mouse over that, you see time signature. That's what that is. So the top number is how many beats are in a measure, or how many beats are in a bar, as this says bar. So we see there's 4. The answer is 4 right now. The time signature, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. The time signature is the rules for counting for what's going on. So let me explain that. So like I said, the top number is how many beats are in a measure. And the bottom number is what type of note we're going to count. So the 4 and the bottom half here means a quarter note. Let me pull up a chart to make this a little bit easier to understand. So you can find this chart a lot of different places. I Googled note values. Boom, here's the picture. Oh, excuse me, clicked on that, and here we are. It's just right there. So these are probably the most common types of notes that there are in music. There are plenty of other notes, but these are just really common and perfect for what we're talking about today. So the whole note is the first note. It gets 4 beats, and it looks like that. Half notes, if you just divide this by 2, you see every 2 half notes will make up 1 whole note. So this gets 2 beats, whereas the whole note got 4 beats. Quarter note, let's keep going down the chart. You get 1 note per beat. And as you can see, there are 2 quarter notes for every 1 half note. And likewise, there are 4 quarter notes for every 1 whole note. So as you might guess, the bottom number, as we were talking about, refers to the type of notes. So 4, quarter. You get it? You're drawing the connection here. If the bottom number were a 2, it would be half notes that we're counting. Or if it were a 1, it'd be a whole note that we're counting. A lot of times you'll see, well, not a lot of times. Sometimes you'll see the bottom number be 8, which would be 8 notes, because there's 8 notes within one whole note in 4/4 time. But that's another thing. So look at how many notes there are per quarter note. There's 2. And you see the pattern here. There you go. Keep going down. You have 16. There's 16 notes. 16 of those in one whole note. So let's go back. Now that you know what notes I'm talking about when I say quarter, 8, or 16, or whatnot, and how long those get, maybe that helps explain some things. So let's just hear what we have right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's probably the tempo of our song. Let's say that is. There's a lot of room for error. Like there's too much space in between each beat. I would like it to, personally, I would like to subdivide, and I want it to click more often. Keep the same tempo, keep it at 75, but I want it to beat more often, so that way I have a better understanding of where one is. So I'm going to show you a couple different tricks, different things you can do to manipulate the click to do just that, to beat more often while keeping the same tempo. So remember, this is what we're working with. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's counting 4, 3, 4 quarter notes, which look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I want, what I'm trying to say, is that I want it to give me 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So how can I do that? I'll let you know. Here's how. We'll change the time signature. Tempo's the same. We're going to change the time signature. So I'm going to have it count 8 8th notes, because there are 8 8th notes. Oh, here we go. In a measure of 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 notes. So this is going to give me this. It's going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And the measure will change 4, as if the quarter note. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There you go. That's pretty neat. Okay, let me show you another thing you can do. Let's say you're working with a metronome or an app that you cannot adjust the time signature. You're stuck with 4/4, and that's all you got. So what can you do, man? What can you do? I'll tell you what you can do. You can adjust the tempo, because the tempo is something that you can't change, right? So at 75, this is what it sounds like. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's look at the chart again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what it was giving me, and I want it to give me this. Now there are, notice, 2 notes per every 1 quarter note. So mathematically speaking, we could just double the speed, and it will give us this. Keep the time signature the same, but I'm going to make this twice as fast. So 75 times 2 is 150. And here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the only issue is that 1, 2, 3, 4. It's doing exactly what we're saying it to do. It's giving it's counting to 4. There are 4 quarter notes that it's counting, and so let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we were to count the quarter note, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it doesn't go up to 4, but it does give us the rate. It gives us the right rate that we're going for, which is fine. A lot of people won't notice and won't care, unless the accent is really noticeable. The only way to adjust that then would be to adjust the time signature. We needed to count more notes. So we needed to count 8 quarter notes, which would be here. 8 quarter notes, and that would give us the 8th note. That would give us 8 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. And now at 150, that's what that sounds like. Now if I were to slow this back down to 75, our original tempo, 5, 6, 7, 8. It counts. It gives me 8 notes, and it's counting the quarter note. And the quarter note is at 75. So that's you have to keep all of those things in mind. You have to keep, well, how fast is the tempo? And sometimes you just double the tempo and it doubles the speed. It's simple as that. Other times you keep the same tempo, but you change the time signature. You change the note that you're counting. We want it to count 8 notes. Count 8 notes. And here we go. We have those 8 notes that we want, and still accurately counting the measure number for us. So those are some ways, some tools, some things you can do. Let me show you maybe what it looks like in another application. I don't know. Maybe that's all you need to rock and roll. But this is Ableton. This is another software. And here's what it looks like here. I'm going to turn on the click. Let's change the tempo to 75. So here's our BPM, 75 beats per minute. The time signature is 4/4. So it's giving us 4 quarter notes at 75. Sounds like this. Sounds about right. Okay. Now, this is pretty cool because we can change what it sounds like. We can change, this is referring to right before you hit record, it gives you 1 bar and then you're in. So that's what the count in is. Just ignore that. Okay, so here's the rhythm. This is what I'm talking about. So I'm having it count quarter notes. I can tell the click subdivide for me. So we have it counting quarter notes. But if I want it to do 8 notes, I don't have to change the beats per minute. I don't have to change the time signature. I'm just going to say, hey, count 8 notes for me. Here's our beats in the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. It still gives me the quarter note because that's the beat. It's counting 4 quarter notes. 4, 1, as you see, 4 quarter notes. 3, 4, 1, and then each bar changes after 4 beats. But the click is going at an 8th note, at an 8th note rate, which is twice as fast. Here's that chart, just so you know what I'm talking about. 8th note is going twice as fast because it is too many notes, twice as many notes. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty cool. Now, there's some more options. I can do T. What is T? What would that be? That's triplet, which is complicated. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So yeah, there you go. There's another option that I wanted to show you of how to get it to subdivide or to give you the rate, the tempo that you are trying to go for. Hopefully this was helpful, and yeah,